viewers, welcome to the African News Update on Top Accolade News. The headlines: South Africa's President defends land law. Minister for Justice ordered to address prolonged pre-trial detention in Uganda. Zimbabwe's banking sector announces 10% wage increase. Kenya's private sector growth slows in January. In politics, South Africa's president defends land law. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has addressed remarks made by billionaire Elon Musk about the country's law following Musk's claim of openly racist ownership laws prejudicing white people. During a phone call on Monday, Ramaphosa reminded Musk of South Africa's commitment to justice, fairness and equality as outlined in its constitution. Musk's comment, posted on his social media platform X, came after US President Donald Trump threatened to suspend aid to South Africa, accusing the country of confiscating land and treating certain people unfairly. Ramaphosa clarified that no expropriation had taken place and that the new Expropriation Act is aimed at ensuring equitable access to land. Still in politics, Minister for Justice ordered to address prolonged pre-trial detention in Uganda. In Uganda, the Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs has been directed to present a statement before Parliament on the prolonged pre-trial detention of suspects. The statement, expected on February 4th, was meant to address reports of individuals being held in prison for up to 28 years without trial. However, the Attorney General stated that the minister was unable to make the presentation due to the judiciary's focus on the recent Supreme Court ruling regarding civilian trials in the General Court-Martial. Deputy Speaker Thomas Tayebua expressed dissatisfaction with the minister's delay, noting that the Uganda Prison Service regularly updates authorities on prisoner status. Shifting focus to economy, Zimbabwe's banking sector announces 10% wage increase. Zimbabwe's banking sector has announced a 10% wage increase for its employees in 2025, marking a significant adjustment despite ongoing economic challenges. The increase, which includes housing and transport allowances, will see the lowest paid worker earning $709 per month, while the highest paid employees will receive $1,284. According to a notice from the collective bargaining agreement, 73% of salaries will be paid in US dollars, though companies unable to meet this requirement can apply for exemptions. This wage adjustment follows tough conditions in Zimbabwe's economy, including inflation and power shortages, which have also led to retrenchment in the banking sector. Still in economy, Kenya's private sector growth slows in January. Kenya's private sector activity showed modest growth for the fourth consecutive month in January, while at a slower pace compared to December. The Stanbic Bank Kenya PMI edged down to 50.5 from 50.6 in December, remaining above the neutral 50.0 mark, signaling continued expansion. While Kenya's growth rate slowed to 4.6% in 2024 from 5.6% the previous year, inflation also ticked up slightly to 3.3% in January. Economists attribute the rise in costs to higher taxes on imported goods, though no inflationary pressures eased compared to December. You are watching the African News Update on Top Accolade News. Do stay with us. Still to come. Thanks for staying with us. Insecurity. Cyber attack exposes Kenyan political elite's business dealings. In Kenya, a cyber attack has exposed private business dealings involving President William Ruto, former President Uhuru Kenyatta, and other prominent figures. The attack targeted the Business Registration Service, revealing sensitive data about Kenyan companies, including company names, shareholder details, and personal information like IDs, phone numbers, and home addresses. Among the exposed information are business interests tied to First Lady Rachel Ruto and the Kenyatta family, with connections to over 50 companies. The leak has raised alarm about Kenyan cybersecurity, with reports suggesting the stolen data is now circulating on the dark web. The breach has reignited calls for stronger data protection laws amid rising cyber attacks in the country. Moving to conflicts. Red Cross workers continue mass burial in Goma. Red Cross workers in Goma have continued mass burials after M23 rebels took control of the city a week ago. According to the Congolese Interior Minister, over 2,000 bodies have been buried, though the World Health Organization revised the death toll to at least 900, excluding those still in the morgues. As families mourn, many have called on the government to restore peace. Grieving relatives shared their heartbreak, urging leaders to act as fear and violence continue to devastate the region. The M23 group, backed by Rwandan troops, has tightened its hold on eastern Congo, displacing hundreds of thousands. In entertainment, RAMZYB insists CASTRO is alive, despite being legally declared dead. In a surprising statement, musician RAMZYB has claimed that hip-life artist CASTRO, who was legally declared dead a decade ago, is still alive. RAMZYB argued that the absence of a body or definitive proof of death does not mean CASTRO has passed away. He expressed strong belief that CASTRO is still alive, possibly living in another country, and urged people to stop assuming he's gone. CASTRO went missing after a jet ski accident in 2014, and though the search turned up no bodies, the case remains unresolved. Now in sports. LBA president calls for equal government support for basketball. Liberia Basketball Association president is calling for increased government support for basketball in the country. He emphasized the need for basketball to receive the same level of funding and resources as football to ensure the sport's growth. He also announced plans to reintroduce county-level qualifying rounds next year to boost youth participation and lower the age requirement to encourage younger players. That concludes our African News Updates for today. Stay tuned for more African news and developments. Thanks for joining us. I am Ojorume Okocha. Connect and engage with us on all our social media handles. Do have a wonderful day.